Mr. Mbeki speaks out, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to talk about what exactly frustrates Mr. Mbeki. Let's take a listen to him first, and I'm going to tell you guys why I believe Mr. Mbeki is frustrated. Let's take a listen to this.
I want to say thanks a lot to the Veterans League for bringing us together. To what the chairperson has said correctly, is a political school. We've come to engage one another here in a process of political education. And I from the remarks that comrades have made, it seems that we listened quite carefully to the two presentations that were made. And I think it was very, very important that we listen to those presentations. The first presentation is making a fundamental statement, a statement of fundamental importance to the movement, which is that they have, over all of these years, there's been an organized group of people in our society who've set themselves the mission to destroy the ANC. And that they continue to work to destroy the ANC up to this day. When Comrade Tami made his presentation, he said there are a whole number of things that he doesn't want, he doesn't have time to mention, but are in the document he was presenting. I'll just give you one example of the matters that he was talking about. He referred to the Nugent Commission of Inquiry. I'm sure if I said to comrades here, can you please raise your hands, people who read that Commission of Inquiry report? I doubt if there'll be a single hand. And yet, comrades, that report is very, very important. The reason President Ramaphosa appointed the Nugent Commission of Inquiry, Nugent is a former judge, was because SARS, the South African Revenue Services, the South African Revenue Service was underperforming. The amount of money it was collecting as state revenues was decreasing, which meant that one day the ANC government will not be able to pay salaries of civil servants. That's why that commission was appointed. Why is the South African, now let me say, the South African Revenue Service, as you know, SARS, is responsible for something like 98% of state revenues. So if SARS does not raise the money for the state to function, the state will collapse. So the revenues that SARS were collecting were going down, which means what the ANC government could do was going down. And what the Nugent Commission found was that there was a deliberate process to destroy SARS. That a group of people sat somewhere, this is a judge saying it, not me. A group of South Africans sat there and said, this ANC government must fail. And one of the things you must do to make sure that it fails was to deny this government the revenues it needs to pay civil service, to pay the police, to pay the army, and so on. And the interesting thing, They did not steal 1 cent. It was not to steal money. It was to destroy this institution, which generates 98% of state revenues.
98%?
I'm saying that's an example of the intervention of the counter-revolution to make sure that the ANC fails. So the issue, comrades, that Tammy is raising is a critically important matter for us as members of the ANC to decide what do we do. Because it also means that as we try to correct these things which are wrong, these people want the ANC to fail. We'll work to make sure that we fail. Because they don't want the ANC to survive. So I'm making these comments to say, fortunately, Comrade Tammy said he's going to leave that whole document with the Veterans League. I do hope that the Veterans League will make it possible for people to access it. Really, it's very critically important, comrades, that we must understand this. These are the conditions in which the ANC exists and the conditions in which the ANC functions. There are people that were organized whose mission is the ANC must fail, the democratic revolution must fail. We need to understand that. The second document presented by Comrade Percy, that document is on ANC renewal. It arises from the National Conference decision taken by ANC National Conference in 2017. Both Comrade Tammy and Comrade Percy cited that. The ANC must renew itself even for its own survival. So what happened was that these comrades here, the Veterans League, when they saw that nothing was being done to implement that decision, they then decided as a Veterans League that they must do something about that because of its importance. So the document that Comrade Percy was presenting is a document of the ANC Veterans League. Because the decision of National Conference says there must be renewal of the ANC, the National Executive Committee must lead this process, that's the 2017 decision, and must report to the next NGC. I'm saying the ANC Veterans League decided to take up this matter. And that report from the Veterans League was with the ANC officials before the next national conference. Because the Veterans League said, in order to implement this decision, this is what we're proposing. Because the conference decision, as I was saying, said renew, but did not explain what specific steps must you take in order to renew. That's what the Veterans League decided to do and submitted that document to the leadership. So that document is at ANC headquarters. So that's the document that Comrade Percy is a detailed breakdown of the practical steps that they suggest should be taken in order to effect the renewal. And I'm sure Comrade Percy did not say this, but I do hope that he will also leave a copy with the Veterans League so that the Veterans League can also share it with all of us. So when we trying to answer the question, when you say renew the ANC, what does that mean? So that's why it was step 1, step 2, step whatever. So those two documents will be with us, comrades. On Friday, we had a meeting with some of the leadership from the region, both Nelson Mandela and Sarah Baartman. And one of the issues that was raised there was the negative impact of factionalism. This is very, very bad disease, impacting on these two regions. Factionalism. So when we asked, what are people being factional about? What are the political issues or ideological issues? These things that people are differing about. So they then constitute these various factions. No. It's not either political or ideological or anything about that.
Yeah.
It's positions in order to access resources, in order to put them in their pockets. That was the response. The factionalism is based on that. So there is an obvious question that arises from that. Answer. Which we took it as a correct assessment, it's a correct statement. But I'm saying there's a question that arises out of that. The question then is, are these people ANC? They are not. You cannot be ANC and your mission is to get power in order to enrich yourself. That's not an ANC person. Now there's a problem. There's a word in English, Comrade Chair. I don't even remember what it's called in Xhosa. Some Humphrey might help. It's a conundrum. What is a conundrum, Xhosa? Think about that. And this is a conundrum. The regions, these two regions, they have to go to regional conference. Among other tasks, to elect regional leadership of the ANC. But I'm saying, by the way these people are behaving, they are not ANC. And now you are going to call them to conference to elect an ANC leadership. What kind of leadership is going to emerge from there? It's not ANC. And yet the ANC constitution prescribes that they must go to conference. The question that arises, in a sense, it's somewhat of a chicken and egg thing. What comes first? Is it renewal of the ANC that comes first, or conference that comes first? And we are saying conference comes first. But who are these delegates? These people who say are delegates. I'm saying, comrades, the issue then that is raised about renewal becomes very critically important in terms of the survival of the movement. And in a sense, takes priority over everything else. Because without this instrument, the ANC, we're unable to solve any of our problems. Not a single major problem we'll solve without this organization called the ANC. Properly organized, ethical, strong, and all of that. So the renewal process is very important. So But this is a political school of the Veterans League. So I don't know what the Veterans League is going to do with the outcomes of this political school. Comrade Chair, maybe you will answer that to your members. Because I would imagine that what the Veterans League will want to do in this region, or these regions, is to report to the political structures of the movement in this region. We held a political school, this is what was said, this is what we learned, and this is what we think should happen. Because this matter of the renewal of the ANC is very critical, very central to the question of the survival of the movement, as National Conference said in 2017. It has to happen. If we want the movement, the ANC, to be the kind of organization it must be. In order to pay to do what the ANC historically its mission is. The historical mission of the ANC is to serve the people of South Africa. We must restore the ANC to that position. Can't be done without the renewal of the ANC. The Veterans League can't take a decision that there must be renewal. It requires the structures of the movement here to say, what do we do about that? The reason, comrades, I said we're going to be short apart from aeroplanes is make this one point. I hope we can all of us agree here that we will attend to this matter of the renewal of the ANC in the way that Comrade Percy was describing. That we can convince the other structures of the ANC in the area to say, we need this renewal of the ANC, and it can be done in the following way. If we take a decision like that, what I want to promise, a number of us came from another province to come into the Eastern Cape. If we take a decision like that, Comrade Chair, I want to promise that we'll come back and work with you on that renewal process. Because it's a common challenge. It's a common challenge facing all of us ANC wherever we are in the country. I want to promise that if we say, let's engage that process of the renewal of the movement, Comrade Percy will come back, Tammy will come back, Max will come back, Smarts, you belong here, I will come back, and so on. Because I'm saying, comrades, this is a common task. We can't allow the counter-revolution to succeed to destroy the movement. No, we can't. It doesn't matter how powerful it thinks it is and all of that. And we can't allow that these people who organize themselves within the movement into factions in order to get power, in order to enrich themselves. We can't allow the movement to be led by people like that. And so we have to intervene. We have to intervene in this process of renewal as Comrade Percy was describing it. We've got to intervene in that process. And if we handle that thing correctly, as we must, then we will defeat this counter-revolution that Tammy was talking about. Thanks, comrades, for coming. We will come back, depending on what...
Okay, 2 points, right? Number one, I'd really like to say that I appreciate that Mr. Mbeki, one of the things that I like about him when he speaks sometimes is the fact that he always, when he speaks about a term, or maybe there is a term, for example, renewal, okay? I like the fact that he wants to know, or he wants to tackle the question of what does that actually mean in practicality, okay? Just like when he was talking about what? was talking about what kind of a South Africa we want. You remember when he was talking about the dialogue, and then he said what type of a South Africa we want practically, so okay, because that is very important, ladies and gentlemen. You can talk and say a lot of things, but the practicality of it is very important, and I like the fact like he likes to do that. Okay, number 2 point is the point of the renewal. Now, this is what frustrates Mr. Mbeki. Mr. Mbeki, as he spoke already, that's why he came to a point where he said that what comes first, the renewal or the conference? And then he says, well, according to us, yeah, as per everyone's view, the conference, okay, I guess the way they do it is the conference. And then he asked a question to say, who are these delegates that are going to be in the conference? So that tells me that what frustrates him is the fact that, or he was hoping that the renewal program that they are talking about, it comes first. And it seems like, and it sounds like, and it feels like those that are supposed to be taking the renewal program forward or start it or and push it faster, they are not doing it. If I can even say, maybe he thinks that they are not taking it serious, because according to him it seems like it's supposed to be the renewal, which I think he did speak to say this renewal thing, they've spoken about it and they said that they will engage it, or they will engage on it long time ago. They spoke about it long time ago. So I think the problem now is the fact that this renewal program, it's not done quickly and it's not done the way it's supposed to be actually done, meaning before the conference there must be a renewal. There must be, whatever renewal it is that they want it to be, it must take place. And according to Mr. Mbeki, we all know he spoke about it, and he said, when I say a renewal, I am talking about what the members of the ANC, what type of members of the ANC we have. That will mean who is the person who is carrying the card member or the membership card of the ANC. Who is that person? All right, then he suggested, I remember when he was suggesting to say that everyone in the ANC, they must reapply, or they must start again and reapply their membership so that they get scrutinized, so that they get, I don't know, they check them out actually, if you deserve to be in the ANC or to carry the cut of the ANC. Which I think it's good, which I think it's a good thing to do, because you don't want to have, because remember guys, the ANC is big and any person can come there, and unfortunately some people, they come there with some bad intentions, you know, to loot and to have money and to just run after money. But now the very important thing I think which makes Mr. Mbeki frustrated is the fact that some people, or I can say the ANC, are not taking this renewal thing actually serious. And I believe that, I think according to him, the way maybe they are doing it, it's not what he was expecting. Just like the dialogue thing that he suggested, I don't think that the way that dialogue thing was done was actually correct, because that's what he was not expecting. Just like what he's not expecting, actually what they are doing is not what he's expecting in the ANC when it comes to the renewal. December is here, they will be going to the conference. Where is the program of the renewal? That's what is the problem. And I understand him. You can't be guys electing people because they are friends, electing people because it's faction, you know, you like them because you are going to get a position, because you are going to... That's what Mr. Mbeki is fighting against. And unfortunately, it seems like the majority, they are not buying it. Even though they are doing it, they will do it slow. Maybe until, you know, they will do it slow. But anyway, I don't know guys, what do you think about that? And I hope you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much guys for watching. You have a good day, and yeah, enjoy your day guys. We are done and we out.